Can you emote for us right now?
Right now? I mean, yeah, I could give it a shot. Wow.
Hey. Oh my God. Both directions as well.
Yeah,
Dang.
it's definitely a great emote.
Welcome to episode 5 of The Unlock, a calisthenics-focused show where each week I bring on a new guest to discuss their journey and all things calisthenics. Today, I'm joined by Mckeon. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Guess we'll find out in a minute. He is a calisthenics enthusiast, athlete, content creator, and I reached out to Matt because a lot of his content was crossing my feed. I really liked his style and his personality. He has some tutorial videos on how to do some interesting moves that are not talked about, I think, as much, such as backflip, side flip, corkscrew. I don't even really know what a corkscrew is. So hopefully we'll find out in this episode. I'm excited to really learn more about that. So let's jump into the episode with Matt. Matt, how's it going, man?
Good. How are you?
Good. All is well here. Are you on the East Coast? Where are you based?
Yeah, I'm from New York.
New York. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, cool. Well, honestly, man, the reason I reached out to you, I really only have one question for you is, am I a bot because I can't do a corkscrew?
You might be. I mean, in all seriousness, no, I don't think so. I mean, I just think a lot of people hold themselves back, and I think a lot of people are able to do a lot of this stuff, and they kind of let their like doubtfulness kind of stop them from doing these things. So I know I kind of have a very like aggressive approach in doing that. But I guess my hope in that is that it maybe kind of motivates people to kind of be like, all right, like, I could probably do this stuff if I, actually put some effort into it.
Yeah, I feel like it's not as aggressive as it is. Like, it's kind of like an alarm bell, like, hey, learn this. And I think we need some of that because this stuff, a lot of it does take a lot of a commitment. And so I think it hooks people when it's like, oh, I can learn this in 10 minutes or I can learn this in a day. But is that actually true? Like, let's take backflip, for example. Like, can I actually learn that in a day? And I'll show you. I'll just show you this because I was actually watching one of your reels on repeat. This is me here in my room yesterday using my bed to try to do
side flips.
Side flips. Yeah.
Hey.
Am I on the right track or is this?
Yeah, I mean, like, yes, 100% to start off. Yeah, I mean, that's what I did. Literally doing the same thing. I used a couch and I would just jump and I would turn. Yeah, I mean, can everyone learn it in one day? No, not everyone, but a lot of people can. And, I don't think it's going to happen to the vast majority of people, but I've gotten like tons of DMs. They're like, yo, it took me 30 minutes. I watched your video. I just got it. And it's actually like, I love getting those DMs because it's just like, I know for me, like I would watch videos all the time, like how to do backflip in 5 minutes, how to do backflip in 10 minutes, like on YouTube before I was able to do anything. And it was always really motivating. And I would go in my backyard and I would try it for a long time. And I would always just like lose confidence. And then I would kind of like stop. So it took me a couple years before I was actually like, okay, like I actually need to figure out how to do this. And so I guess I'm just happy that I'm able to kind of provide that motivation, and it kind of kicks people off. They get like a motivation boost from it. And that's like really cool to see, that like I directly had an impact in like, kind of spreading this, I guess, movement of learning all these different skills.
Yeah, 100%. That's one of the most gratifying things is when you get a message from someone that said like, hey, I saw your thing, like it motivated me to get started, and hey, now I can do this or anything like that is inspiring. I think beginners and people to kind of enter the space is one of the most gratifying and rewarding parts of at least my kind of involvement in calisthenics so far. But let's go back to like, when was the first time that you decided like to do this stuff? I guess I was gonna say, when was the first moment that you looked up on YouTube like how to do a backflip, but maybe there was something even before that you were doing. So maybe take us kind of to the beginning.
All right. So I would say I was always kind of interested in, I never knew like the name or anything, but I think probably like third grade, I saw a YouTube video, and it was just this guy. It was like a highlight reel, and he was doing all these like crazy tricks. And he was like running up the walls. He was doing wall flips, back flips, just like this really cool stuff that I was obsessed with it. And so then I started trying to do the easier things. So I was practicing. I guess it was more kind of like parkour kind of. Um, and so I started like trying to like run up the walls. I started doing like some handstand stuff.
Third
Um,
grade.
yeah, well, fourth grade, I was able to walk on my hands, and then I was able to do I'm blanking on the name of it, but it's the easier human flag progression. It's like this. You have way more leverage. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah, some people kind of like hug the pole
Yeah,
almost.
they're
Is
like
that kind of what you're
this.
talking about? Yeah,
Yeah, they have way
yeah.
more leverage. Yeah, so I was able to do that. I would do it. I would do it on like the staircases and stuff, and that was like, obviously they aren't super advanced skills, but like just doing that, like it just felt like incredible. And so that's kind of what kind of got me on the route of like learning all these skills. And then as I got older, I kind of like started doing the more like harder stuff with that.
So fourth grade, I honestly feel like, and let me know if you think this is true, but I just so wish that when I was younger, I had been, involved in gymnastics, and I did some of that, but it wasn't enough. Where I feel like at that young age, if you learn how to do a handstand in fourth grade, it puts you at such an advantage later. Like I really just started in calisthenics this year. At 25, I can feel like my brain is working harder to learn this stuff, like the
Mm,
balance piece.
yeah.
And I do feel like people say what it's easier to learn a language when you're younger, right? And I just think it's the same principle with some of this calisthenics stuff. Like your brain is trying to piece together like the mind muscle connection on this stuff. I'm jealous of the fact that you got started so young. How old are you today?
I'm 23.
23. Okay. So fourth grade to like, were you kind of off and on for a while, like learning this stuff, or?
Yeah, I would, especially the younger age, like I wasn't training really, if I just saw something cool, I'd maybe give it a couple of attempts. So, I wasn't working out or anything. So it was definitely like on and off with like learning different skills. Um, yeah, I would say I didn't really start doing like any of the serious, like I didn't start like actually doing flips until like 10th grade. So there was like a
Okay.
decent period where it was kind of more of the easier stuff. I wasn't in the gym or anything. It was kind of just trying to think of like the next real thing I started doing.
I mean, when did maybe the flips, like when did you first start to like be like, hey, I really want to do a flip? Like what was the flip in your head that was
Right.
like, I really want to learn how to do this? And then you have to just not have the impulse to be like, oh, I want to be able to do a flip. Then you have to have the dedication to actually go and learn it. Because if you look at one of your videos, by the way, and I'm sure you know this, but like some of the top comments are, oh yeah, me watching this knowing like I'm never going to learn how to do a flip,
Yeah.
right? Because the reality is you have to actually commit to learning it. So maybe talk to us about like when did that happen where you were like, oh, I want to learn this, and then maybe piece together what does it take to actually like commit to learning some of these moves.
Hmm. I mean, I guess I would say it for me, my journey, it was very on and off. Like I would have times where I would like there would be like a local park kind of like around the block. I remember, it was before I could drive or anything. I would walk over with like a bunch of like old pillows and blankets, and I would like put it over a bench to practice like rolling over it and going through the motions. And I remember I would set up my phone and I would like have it on video for like my first attempt of doing the flip, and I would just stand there for like 5 minutes, and I would give up. I wouldn't even be able to send it, and I would just go home. And it was just this constant like it was just always like this itch in the back of my head, and I would go, and then for some reason or another, I would always kind of go back, and then really things didn't start turning around until I got a trampoline, and then that's when I was like, okay, like now I that definitely gave me the confidence to be able to start moving that to the ground after I got that. Yeah, that's what I would
Yeah,
say.
is it easier to learn it on a trampoline? I would think that that would be a good strategy to learn something like a backflip, although if it wasn't a particularly large trampoline, I would just be worried about like you got to have
Yeah.
the net, you know.
Right. Right.
But is that a good way to learn how to do like a backflip?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, I would say probably either that or like if you're trying to learn this at your house, like with no equipment, I would say trampoline or pool is probably going to be your best bet. The pool is good because, you could just land on your back. You're not going to really sustain any serious injuries. Um, but some people don't like it as much because they're worried about hitting their head on the board. So there's like pros and cons. I learned how to do it on both. First the trampoline, then the pool, and then I brought it to the ground.
Okay. How old were you when you learned how to do backflip? Like you unlocked it?
I think I was in like 10th grade.
Yeah. Okay.
How was that?
Here's what I want to know. Is in one of your videos you said if you're athletic, you can learn this.
Yeah.
I'm athletic, right?
Right.
If I sent it, like let's just say my brain was able to shut the fear factor down for like 5 seconds and I just full sent like right here in my room. Would I pull off a backflip? Or am I missing the technique? Like I don't know the technique. But if I feel like if I just sent it,
Yeah.
is my head hitting the ground, or am I pulling it off? What do you think?
Well, the thing is, okay, so with zero training, just fully sending the backflip on a first attempt, I would say you would probably not be able to do it. That's probably what I would say. I was always jealous of those kids though. Like there would be some kids that they wouldn't train at all and they just wouldn't think. They would go on a hill and they would just throw themselves backwards. And that always like, it made me so angry because I would spend so much time and effort into, especially when I was younger, like going to these parks and doing all these things. And I was just never able to like get over that mental hurdle. Because I felt like I was so much more like prepared for this kind of thing. And I still just couldn't, like, I just kept holding myself back from it. And so it's very interesting because some people, they'll have zero training, but that mental block isn't there. So they could probably just do it a couple times, clean up the form a little bit, and then they have it. Whereas other people like me in my situation, I'll spend years like just thinking about this over and over again and, putting in all the work and, trying to learn the technique and everything. But I just can't get over that like wall that just stops me.
Yeah, I think I would struggle. I think I would struggle with the wall. But like you said, I think it's just about like in your videos, you make it look easy because it's like, oh, if you can roll over on your side on some pillows, like you can do a side flip. And I think it's kind of a half truth, right? Like there's a lot of work that
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I'll say, so for the side flip, that was actually my first flip. That was the first one I was ever able to do. And so for that, I would actually, when I was learning it, I would just have my friend like kind of like go on his back a little bit like that. And I would just roll over him. And I was able to clear him just doing that. But again, the mental block, if he wasn't there, I wouldn't be able to send it. And I wouldn't be able to do the rotation. So pretty much for all these skills, I always felt like I was able to do it physically, but my mental would just hold me back all the time. And, looking back, I kind of wish I was able to get over those hurdles a lot faster than I was able to. And I think that's kind of the thing that, the way I make the videos, the way I make them is because, I think it will and it has helped people kind of, get it now rather than wait, a couple years and then get it down the line. So yeah, I would say that's kind of.
Is there a moment when you're learning this stuff that it's like, so we can do these progressions where like, okay, you're rolling over your friend or you're rolling over, like, I think in one of your videos you have like a garbage can wrapped with something, right? Mm-hmm. And you're practicing with that. But does there come a moment where you're like, okay, now I'm going to full send it? Like, I feel like there's got to be that first time where that, like, you can trick your brain so much into being like, okay, well, I'm only doing a progression here and like I'm still rolling and like I'm going to be caught and like whatever. But then there's that first time where you're like, okay, now I'm now I'm doing it like full stop, right?
Right.
And
Yeah.
so is that kind of like the hardest hurdle to get over?
I would say for backflip, definitely. For side flip, not as, because with the side flip, you can just you could leave the obstacle there, but then eventually you won't be touching it anymore. So then it's kind of like a baby step, because then you could slowly make the object smaller and still not touch it. Whereas with the backflip, you kind of have to just do it. There's a lot less like micro progressions you could do with that. So I would say definitely with the backflip, I struggled with I was always stuck doing this like half twist thing. So even like when I got a trampoline, I still wasn't able to get over the mental block like at all. So the only way I was able to learn it was by doing a back 180. And that sounds like counterintuitive, but the reason behind that was because for the back 180, you start twisting. So the twist was enough that I didn't feel like I was going backwards. I was able to see the ground.
Wait,
And
so what's a back 180?
So instead of just like throwing my head back, I would start like that. So I'm
Okay.
spotting the ground. And then my legs are still going over my head, of course, but so I would end facing that way. And so it was kind of like, it's technically a harder skill, but you know, the skill wasn't really holding me back. It was my mental. So it sounds kind of reverse, but yeah. So first I had to do the back 180. So back like half twist. And then I just had to slowly start twisting less and less until I was just doing a normal backflip.
So that's
the
the hard
mental-
part, is like going from kind of a rotation to just like fully backward.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Which one is your favorite?
Favorite flip? Ooh. Honestly, probably the side flip.
Really?
Yeah, that's
I like the reel where you're just like, yo, you can spam emote and you're just like that's, I think, one of the ones that I saw that I was like, dude, I gotta talk to this guy. Is this like, is it actually that easy? You know, that was my like what I really wanted to know. I was like, man, I want to spam emote. Can you emote for us right now?
right now. I mean, yeah, I could give it a shot. I don't know if I could do it in frame. I'll probably
Let's
just
see
do
this.
one because my ceiling's pretty low, but just postpone out.
Oh my god! Oh, both directions as well.
Yeah,
Dang.
it's definitely a great emote.
Yeah, that is so. How often do you just do that, like with just out and about, like just rip that?
Like, I mean, it's a great party trick.
Such a good
it's-
party trick.
Yeah, and my muscle memory is gotten to the point where it's like I don't really have to think too much about it, which is great. Because like a lot of stuff, even with backflips still, if I'm not like warmed up, it's kind of like, it's not something I just want to pull out because I feel like there's so many, I'll feel it in my back or like a bunch of other stuff. But the side flip is something where I can kind of just do it whenever. And so that's probably what I like the most about it.
Interesting. Okay, so if I'm a beginner, right, and I'm new to flips, but maybe I'm decently athletic, right? Like, I guess two-sided question here, but do you recommend side flip as a good place to start if you are a beginner looking to get into just calisthenics, and like if your goal is just to unlock some cool skills? Is this a spot where you can be a beginner and start, or is this something that you'd be like, hey, let's work on some other calisthenic stuff first and do it later? Like, where does this fall in terms of how kind of hard it really is relative to other skills out there?
So I would say, I feel like they're very, I kind of view them separately, I guess, like from normal, say like human flag and stuff versus like flipping.
It seems very different, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I do like, I like both of them in the sense that like, it's both kind of like with your body weight and your like awareness and like kind of developing like a better like understanding and confidence with like, you know, your body. And that's what I think like kind of drew me to like both of them. I kind of did both of them. I think first I really started doing the flipping before I started doing like the actual like difficult skills. I'm not sure if I would pick one or over the other like first. I think it would kind of just depend on what your goals are. Because I mean, if you're looking to like put on muscle or like do specific skills that are, you know, obviously like doing flips and stuff isn't gonna really get you like a crazy physique. So I guess it really just comes down to preference. Um, yeah, I don't think I would pick one over the other for like any
Yeah,
specific
maybe
reason.
it's kind of in just a different camp entirely. Like that's part of the one of the things that interests me is like, so I talk to a lot of calisthenics people, right? And I know you do human flag and some other, like, you consider yourself a calisthenics athlete, something like this, right? Yeah. So but you are doing these flips and stuff. And that's not really something that's really mainstreamed in calisthenics, is doing these kind of these flips. And when I look at the spectrum of calisthenics skills, there are ones that are more kind of just looked at as kind of a prestigious, difficult calisthenics skill like planche or something, which I want to ask you about. Like, is that something I was going to ask you, like, is that something that's on your roadmap, right? Or you can be a calisthenics. I mean, fitness is what you make it, just first of all. But or you can be someone that says, hey, I'm a calisthenics athlete, but dude, I'm just in this to rip some cool skills. And I mean, planche is cool, but so is a corkscrew, so is side flip. And like, I'm spending time in those areas because a lot of the calisthenics athletes I talk to are not spending time on backflip or corkscrew. I mean, some are, but you know what I mean? It's not
Yeah,
a skill that I see out there really talked about as much. So I guess the question is like, how do you classify yourself as a calisthenics athlete? What are kind of you working on right now? But also, why do you think that corkscrew, backflip, like, are these actually calisthenics skills, or are these just cool things to do? How do you think about it?
yeah. I mean, it definitely is kind of interesting. Yeah, they are very separate. I feel like most people kind of fall into, planche, human flag, like full just calisthenics stuff. And then there's like this whole other community of just like tricking and flipping and all this other stuff. And then I haven't really seen much crossover. Um, and I think they definitely are separate. And that's probably, I think a lot of people will kind of dedicate most of the time to the thing they're most interested in. And so I think that's why there's less, I guess, like merging of them. But I mean, to me, I think I just kind of liked, especially when I was younger, I would just see something cool. And, regardless of what it was, I would just try to like figure out how to do that. And that's still kind of where I'm at now. Like even like a super advanced calisthenics skill, if I don't think it's like, if I'm not like drawn to it, I'm not going to go out of my way to like grind this move, for like months or years, just for something I don't really care that much about. Planche is definitely still on my, my roadmap of what I want to get to. I think I'm stuck at like straddle right now. I actually did a poll on my Instagram story the other day because I kind of realized I was at like a crossroads of that and one arm handstand, because I think that looks incredible. But I feel like, especially with all the other moves I learned, I pretty much just become obsessed with one thing until I get it. And I've noticed I've kind of been like going back and forth with a couple different things. So one arm handstand won the poll. So I think that's going to be my next like big focus. And then eventually we'll get to planche afterwards. But yeah, it is pretty interesting that there isn't like a huge crossover, because I do think they complement each other nicely. Being able to do these acrobatics like as well as like the calisthenics stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I was wondering that myself, and where is kind of the line between calisthenics and some of this like just tricking stuff. But I don't think there's a right answer, and I just think it is what you make it. And I have a soft spot for just some of these cool skills, and that's part of the reason I wanted to talk to you. Is I would love to learn how to do side flip. That seems, and I totally understand what you're saying too about backflip is something. It's interesting to hear that backflip is something that you don't just pull out. It's like it does take a slight kind of toll on your body. I think people that are in calisthenics know those skills for them that like they can do, but do come at like a slight kind of cost.
Yeah. Right.
When I'm practicing human flag right now, I would say I'm pretty good at human flag, but it's definitely something that I can feel in my body like afterwards after doing it.
Yeah.
And so there's certain skills like that. But for you to say that side flip and to see you do it, just ripping it out. I mean, just seeing some of this stuff, right, is such a hook. It's like, man, I need to be able to do that. At least
Yeah.
that's some of the impulse that I get as well. And by the way, I voted in your poll, and I think I voted for one arm handstand as well, just because I think planche gets a lot of love, and that's a big journey, but I think it sucks you out of a lot of things. It's kind of all encompassing, and not to say that one arm handstand isn't as well, but I just think one arm handstand is also a super, super just really cool skill. I also noticed that in some of your content, you going way back have been doing just something like handstand push-up. So maybe talk to us about that, and just what other skills have you kind of worked on just throughout your calisthenics journey? What have you really enjoyed? And when did you learn handstand push-up? Because I mean, I'm working on that right now personally, and it's just one of those things like handstand, I had to fight tooth and nail. My balance is not something that I worked on at a young age, and I just feel like I'm trying to rewire my brain in a big way. And I see a lot of people doing handstand push-up, and I've been frustrated in that journey, but I'm really enjoying it at the same time. What are your thoughts there? Handstand push-up.
So when I first started calisthenics, I was like all in on pull movements. It was like the only thing I really did. I ignored push like almost completely. I was able to like do a handstand and like walk, I guess, but I didn't have that like still perfect form like technique or strength really. It was kind of like I could stumble around, I could hold it for a couple seconds, but I didn't really have anything developed. And so for a while, I was really just grinding like muscle ups, human flag, I got like the airwalk and then like the human flag pull ups and stuff. That was like the biggest thing for a while for me. Dragon flag as well. I'm trying to think of eventually
front lever.
Front lever as well. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I haven't I don't train that one too often. Once I unlocked it, I kind of I think I kind of go through like periods where I just become like obsessed with like one specific like movement, and that's kind of the thing that I focus all my attention towards. So I got back lever. I think back lever was the first one I was able to do. Then human flag. Yeah, I got human flag before I got front lever. And then I just really started focusing on the human flag variations. And then I saw people doing handstands in the gym, and I was like, I really got to get around to doing that, because I hated the fact that if there wasn't like a pole or anything, I couldn't do the human flag. You can't do it anywhere. And that's the thing that's so great about the handstands, is that you don't need any equipment. So yeah, I saw this person in the gym doing it, and I was like, all right, I really got to stop ignoring this. And
When was that?
That might have been either 2022 or 2023. I don't remember the exact year, but I remember.
So the push skills are, do you feel like you're more predisposed to pull? Like, do you feel like you had an advantage there, and that's why you did those skills first? Or like,
I would say yeah, because I think like before I was able to go to the gym, I would just do like push-ups, pull-ups, dips, and I think my back was probably like the most developed muscle group I had before I started working out. And so because I was able to get farther with that, and also, I mean, I thought the human flag was like so cool. So
what's easier, human flag or side flip?
Ooh.
Like what would take longer to learn as a beginner? Because I know how long human flag took me. So if you are going to come out and say that side flip is easier, I just want to hear what you say.
The thing that's interesting is like, I feel like, say like human flag, you're kind of like limited in the fact that you have to train for it. You have to eat the right way. You have to get the sleep. You have to do it for X amount of time just to build up, the strength, and then also assuming you're, a low enough body fat and everything. Right. But as something like side flip, like they're
very different skills. So I understand that. But on the average, like which one do you think is easier? Or maybe they're about the same.
It's very tricky. I guess if I was to imagine like the average, are we assuming like they already go to the gym? Are they already active, or like?
Yeah, let's just take someone who's like reasonably athletic. Maybe they can do, they have a solid base of, 10 to 12 pull-ups, you know.
I mean,
I take the hesitancy as meaning like maybe it's relatively similar, like in terms of just duration of like, hey, I'm starting this journey. Human flag. I came to the take. I mean, I'm strong on pull. Like I'm way better at pull than I am at push. It's not even close. And so I'm working to close the gap. Working hard. Push is my priority right now. But you know, human flag, I knew that I had that advantage and I knew I could do a human flag. I needed time. And so I came to the gym and it was like an everyday thing. And you know, I day after day, I attempted it and it started out like, what the heck am I doing? But I basically unlocked it in 4 weeks.
oh wow.
And then just got better from there. But like side flip, I would have no idea how long that would take me. And I think it to some extent, all this stuff depends, right? It's like, how much are you going to put in? How often are you going to train it? How dedicated are you? How bad do you want it? Right. Those things can all determine how fast that you unlock something. I just wonder if I had poured that exact same amount of energy into side flip, would I have unlocked it in 1 week, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks? I don't know.
I mean, I think you definitely could. I think another thing too is for something like side flip or any flip in general, I think it would help a lot maybe having someone else with you. And that definitely makes it a little bit more, there's a lot more work that goes into that rather than something like human flag. Like, you know, you could use resistance bands and everything if you kind of train that on your own. But like say, like having like a spotter, that could speed up your progression for a side flip or back flip so much, right? But now you're kind of relying on someone else. And now maybe you have to go to a specific spot to do it. So I would say maybe it might be a little less practical if someone already has a gym membership. They could already start training flag versus, you know, you need someone to figure out that already knows how to do it or get mats or something, or, you know, that it might be a little bit more difficult for someone to figure out a like setup, and probably less. I mean, it's definitely more intimidating mentally as well, because you could kind of just, human flag doesn't really have a fear factor to it, you know?
Right.
Yeah. So I think that's what makes it kind of interesting. I guess it really depends, like how
It's
confident.
kind of a dynamic move versus a static move. And
Right.
I agree with you. The fear factor is big, man. I just, it does. Yeah. If you need a spotter, even then it'd take some time for me to trust that they can really spot effectively. And there's all those things to consider. What's the hardest skill you think you've learned so far? Like what was the hardest?
Like the one that took me the longest, or
Yeah, I guess just the one that you feel like you struggled with the most.
I mean,
I'm asking you all the hard questions.
yeah, right. I mean, I guess as of recent, maybe like the 90-degree push-up. Trying to think if there's anything, or like I got one arm pull-up. I think I could do like 3 with my right arm, but I got that one quicker than I anticipated. I feel like I'm not sure how that scales up to 90-degree push-up, which one's technically harder. But those are probably 2 of the more difficult skills I could do right now.
Okay. Yeah. It's so funny how everybody's different, because I wouldn't have any close of shot at handstand 90-degree handstand push-up. Like I'm trying to just do handstand push-up. But I could bust out 2 one-arm pull-ups, like for sure. You know, and so it's just funny how everybody's so different. What does kind of your training look like now? So what do you do? How often do you train? Are you more like in the gym, or are you more like go to the park and do backflips, or what does it look like?
So I would say it's pretty, it's definitely changing a lot. Kind of depending on what I feel like I'm lacking in or what I'm kind of focused on at the moment. Like if the weather is nice and I'm, you know, training something like back, like I'll just go to a park by my house and I'll do stuff over there. Versus like if I feel like I want to focus more on maybe like muscle gaining or like hypertrophy, then I'll go to the gym and I could just do like regular weightlifting. For a lot of times, if I'm trying to do like a specific skill, I'll end up going to the gym, and then that will be like the thing I'll start with, you know, when I have like all my strength, so I could, you know, get like the best form and everything. And then once I feel like, you know, I've done enough training where, you know, this stuff isn't really productive anymore, then I'll kind of switch to like a regular weightlifting like workout routine, and then I'll kind of like cycle in between that. So really, like if I feel like, oh, like I really haven't, hit like the gym in a minute, I'll go there and I'll just do weights. Versus if I feel like I'm like lacking on skills, then I'll go there and I'll like only do skills. So it's not like one concrete thing. It's definitely changing all.
How many days a week do you think you train? Like, do you take rest days and?
Yeah, I would say probably. It also gets a little blurry because sometimes I'll just train stuff at my house, not weightlifting, just like skill training, and then I don't really know whether to consider that like a full workout day or rest day. But I would say I would probably go to the gym like 3 to 5 days a week, and then going to the park and then doing stuff at my house probably when I'm not like at that.
When did you start weightlifting? What are your thoughts on the intersection between calisthenics and weightlifting? Because I started calisthenics this year, but I've been lifting weights for the last 6. And I really believe, a lot of calisthenics is strength. And, having that weightlifting background really gave me a head start on a lot of this stuff. Not the balance piece, So I had to grind out handstand, but some of this does help, weightlifting. So what are your thoughts there?
I think it helps tremendously. Maybe not for every single skill, but I remember, so I was doing like calisthenics skills. Like I was trying to do like human flag and muscle up before I went to the gym at all. And then I started weightlifting, like just regular working out. And then when I started trying these skills again, it was like I like powered up or something. Like the strength difference was crazy. So I think it definitely helps. Maybe not every skill, especially if you're trying to do like straight arm strength and stuff. You're really not going to get that if you're doing a regular workout routine. But I think it helped tremendously just doing like regular weightlifting. Because sometimes like, sure, you could do like weighted, body exercises, and I still do that too. But sometimes it's nice to just be able to do like a machine that's specifically targeting like one part of your body, or like just to like switch up, I guess.
100%. Now everything is I prioritize calisthenics, and I have a specific regimen, but I always finish with 2 or 3 kind of weightlifting exercises of choice. And I am big on weighted calisthenics too. I do weighted pull-ups, weighted dips, but I will agree with you. Sometimes it's nice to just hop on the preacher curl and just go heavy, right? So what was do you have a time in your kind of fitness journey that you were feeling the most discouraged, the most out of it? Talk to us about a moment like that, because I think most people have kind of those low moments where you're feeling unmotivated. What was a time that you experienced like that, and how did you overcome it?
I would say, I mean, definitely in the beginning, it's a little discouraging, I guess, when you're trying like these moves and like you're just nowhere near the strength level that you need to be out to get them. That's definitely a little discouraging. I would say probably the most discouraging for me is really probably the injuries. I've dislocated both my shoulders like so many times. I've had wrist injuries that I actually still have a wrist injury that I almost got a year ago. And so those setbacks can be really upsetting.
What about your toe? Is your toe okay?
Oh gosh, the toe is still. I can walk now and everything, so and obviously I'm doing stuff with it, but it's still. I don't think it's broken, but it's definitely still bruised and inflamed.
Tell us what happened to your toe.
Yeah, so I was filming it was a tutorial for how to jump out of the pool, because I think that's a dope skill. I think a lot of other people would love to know how to do that.
How to jump out of the pool.
Yeah, like within the water, like onto the pavement, like fully jump out. Have you seen that before?
No. So you're just in the pool standing and then you just jump out?
Yeah.
So it's like a high jump, but like with resistance almost.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Oh
Yeah.
man, and your toe slammed into the.
Well, that's the thing.
What happened?
Everything was going fine. It was getting a little dark though, and I was getting tired, so I deleted all the footage, and I was like, I'm just gonna reshoot this tomorrow. And then as I was just walking up the stairs, I just bashed my toe into the pavement. I wasn't even doing the hard thing. I was just walking out the stairs. Yeah, so I was instantly on the ground and then it was just bleeding like everywhere. I'm still so confused how just walking up the stairs, I had that much force to like cause this much damage. Like it felt like someone just got a hammer and just like beat my toe. So it was pretty rough. I tried to sleep it off and then I woke up at like 3 a.m. and it was like really bad. So then I was like, okay, this is not good. So then I told you,
You wrapped it in a Chipotle napkin.
yeah, I crawled inside the house. I wrapped it in a Chipotle napkin and I tried to go to bed and it just did not work. So after that, then I took medication and everything and I was like, all right,
Did you go to the hospital?
nah. I was like, I looked it up. They can't really like do much for. The other thing that was confusing was there was slits like everywhere. Like it wasn't like a normal. I don't want to get too like graphic about it, but it was just like yeah, it was just like really weird. I still don't really understand how it happened, but yeah, I just iced it a lot. I took medication and I just didn't put weight on it for a couple days, and then I think it's at a point where it should be better soon. But yeah, it was pretty upsetting because I still haven't filmed that video. Now like the summer's kind of coming to an end, so it's a little upsetting, but hopefully I'll get around to that.
Yeah, that's an interesting skill to just jump out of the pool. That's kind of that's kind of cool. So, but you've dislocated your shoulders a bunch too?
Yeah, yeah.
How does that happen?
Oh, so many. I mean, once you do it one time, it's just so prone to happening again. The first time was in college. I actually had it on video, but when I picked up my phone, it was on Snapchat. My thumb hit the X and it deleted the video. So that was pretty annoying. But I was walking on my hands and I think my palms were like a little sweaty and this hand went forward and it slipped and it just popped out.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that, I mean, once that happened, I couldn't work out for like actually work out for months. So that was like the first time that it actually dislocated. And then another time was human flag doing the airwalk. So I'm going down slow and then I just felt it going. And then mid human flag, it like was out. And then, yeah, horrible feeling. Like I got down or whatever and it wasn't really hurting. So I kind of continued with my workout. And then the next morning, I like couldn't move it. So I was like, all right.
Well, that's not good to hear. I like to practice human flag. I'm learning the walk right now. The
airwalk?
Yeah, I'm trying, but it doesn't look right. And I'm a little bit it's funny because I'm actually more self-conscious in the gym trying to airwalk and it looking so stupid than I was trying to learn human flag in the first place.
No, I think that's fair. Yeah, I like, especially when I was first trying, I'm like, this probably looks so bad. Like it probably just looks like I'm just doing random stuff on like this pole. Like I probably look like a weirdo. But like,
what's your advice for the airwalk?
Honestly, you
just got to try.
Yeah, I would just do a lot of like the negatives. Just start at the top and then I just would slowly go down. That's really all I would do. At one point, every time I would go into the gym, I would just warm up with the human flag airwalk. Like I would just do it over and over and over again. And I think that's really how I got like every skill is just really just becoming obsessed with it and doing it almost like as much as I can, like, safely.
Do you have any other, like, just think about any kind of cool tips and tricks in the calisthenics space? Because you just hinted at one of them right there. It's like, I kind of feel the same way about something like human flag can actually be an effective warm up for the rest of your workout because it kind of gets you loose in your in your lats a little bit. Like your lats are engaged, but it's not like you're trying to, do 70% of your body weight on weighted pull-ups. Like you're not taxing them to the max, but it's, and so some of these skills are actually, I guess I had thought of that too. Like human flag being an interesting warm up, and you just inspired me. I'm gonna go work out after this. I may start with human flag. Sometimes I put it at the end and I'm just so burned out.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. How do you think about that? What should we like put? I always tell people calisthenics first. Like you there's no way you're gonna go lift a bunch of weights and do all this hypertrophy work and then go into calisthenics skills. You're gonna get discouraged. You're gonna be totally burned out. How do you kind of, what do you prioritize when you
I
look at like a workout from start to finish?
Yeah, I would say I definitely start with calisthenics. Is you know you're not gonna have the strength at the end that you have starting out. So I definitely start with the calisthenics. The only time that I would really ever not is if I was doing something completely separate. So if I just hit like, I don't know, like back or something maybe, and I wanted to do, it's still involved in handstands, but it's definitely not as, it's not like I just hit shoulders. So that could be something, if I really have an itch and I really want to hit it, like I could do that at the end, maybe before I head out. But if I'm like actually trying to like progress or something, I would definitely start with like on back days, 100% I'm starting off with, human flag work, front lever work, because if you save that for the end, you're not, the strength's not going to be there, the form's not going to be there, and you don't really have, like, I like kind of seeing, and obviously I think most people should, how much they're progressing and how much, better their form is getting, how much longer they're able to hold it. If you're doing that at the end, like you're not really going to get any of that. So I think 100% you should be starting.
Yeah. I think you should, as a general rule of thumb, start with calisthenics, first of all, but start with the skill that you are most dedicated to unlocking.
Definitely.
Because you have the most energy, you got the most, like, your head is clear. Like, I think you should just go into exactly what your priority is. And that's why I've been leading with handstand, push-up pretty much every workout, because I just want full strength. And then I'll even condition it further deeper in the workout, start to do just pike push-ups and stuff to just blow out my shoulders from like a strength perspective, so that then it can recover and be stronger the next time. So yeah, I think the way that you structure your workout is just, especially for like from a calisthenics angle, is just like, is really important.
Yeah.
I had to learn the hard way. Like, do not like go in there and lift weights before you do your calisthenics stuff. What's kind of one maybe exercise that you don't like or whatever, but is kind of there because you need it? Like, is there something you really hate training but still do?
I hate training and still do. Like a calisthenics one or like a weightlifting one or anything? It's a tough one. I mean, I would say probably my least favorite. I think my least favorite it might be triceps. It's just like a random, I mean, I guess that's a muscle group rather than a specific exercise. But yeah, for some reason, I think that's like my least favorite thing to hit, which kind of stinks because it is pretty important for a lot of, like handstand push-up and stuff like that. Yeah, I would say I probably enjoy back the most, and then triceps is probably like the complete opposite.
Yeah. Do you do a push-pull split, it sounds like?
Yeah, I mean, I'll switch it up sometimes, but I feel like I kind of stick with that. That'll kind of be my default, and then if I feel like I'm kind of getting sick of it, I'll switch it up.
Cool. All right, some kind of fun, like more just different types of questions here. Quick fire. Is there a person, calisthenics creator, fitness like who do you kind of look up to? Like, who's kind of inspired you over the years? Is there someone that kind of pops into your head as someone that you have looked up to?
I think, I would say, I guess for like flipping and stuff, there's this guy, his name's Dom. He goes by Dom Tomato, but his last name isn't Tomato, it's something else. But he would do these flips from like crazy heights. Like it was like borderline like 2 stories, like the heights he's going from. And I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And watching his videos, I thought he was like a superhuman. Like, he was like a real life superhero. And that was he definitely had an impact on like me kind of getting motivated to do that stuff myself. I guess for like calisthenics specifically, I mean, everyone knows like Chris Heria. Like, he's got to be like number 1, I guess, for me as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait, so this guy would do 2 stories, like he'd land on his feet and be okay?
It was just crazy. I'm not sure if it was the full 2 stories or, I mean, definitely at least 1 story, but he would just sprint and then he would like front flip. His main flip is the front flip, and he would just, obviously you have to roll out of it, like landing on your feet. You probably like, I mean, he's definitely got injured and stuff, but yeah, it was just like crazy hang time. And I remember I just didn't even think it was possible and I just saw that stuff, and it was just like really like motivating. I was like, wow, like this is stuff I thought I would only see in movies. And she's just like,
Dude, remember like just the parkour days? Like parkour totally had its moment just
yeah,
in
yeah.
the limelight where everyone was like obsessed with doing parkour. Like
I
there's
was,
even like an Office episode about parkour,
oh
right? Like it
yeah,
had
yeah.
yeah, like uh it's just funny. Like why did that kind of come and go? Like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I remember because that was kind of like what I considered, I guess, what I was doing. Like, I guess it was considered parkour, but then I don't know. I feel like at a certain point, I was like, oh, like people were kind of like not making fun of it, but I was like, oh, maybe I should say, like, I don't know. I guess it kind of just like, I guess when anything becomes like more mainstreamish, like then eventually I was kind of like, I mean, that's honestly kind of how I was when I was younger. Like, even though I didn't do gymnastics, like there was always like this like connotation that like doing gymnastics is like a guy is like not a good thing to do. Like, especially when you're like really
Hmm.
young. And so like that was like I don't know, like I don't even understand why that was a thing, but like that was kind of like when I would train this stuff, sometimes I would like keep it like I guess more low key, I guess, because I thought like it wasn't the cool thing to do. But that was really mainly when I was younger. You know, once you get to a certain point, like it's, you know, it's just like childish stuff.
Yeah. What kind of music do you listen to when you train? What's like your go-to hype song right now?
Ooh, so I'm honestly in like a dead spot right now. I like cycle through music and then I'll probably find like one or two songs I really like. And then like I'll play it until I don't like it anymore. And then I just don't have music anymore. It's kind of where I'm at right now. So I don't really have I've gone through like pretty much every genre, like besides maybe country in the gym. Um, yeah, like I guess like EDM or like throwbacks or like, you know, like hip hop, like pretty much everything. There's nothing like there's not one particular thing that I'm like I prefer, I guess. How about you? What do you normally listen to?
I listen to mostly kind of new metal, hardcore, screamo. Like I like
Yeah,
yeah, I
that's
don't
good.
listen to too much EDM to be honest with you, but I will if I'm really trying to rip a skill at like
Yeah,
110%, like
yeah, like a
going for
PR or
it,
something.
I
Yeah.
will make sure I've got like the right song playing and I'll even try to hit the skill like at the right point in the
Yep.
song.
On like the beat
I
drop or
do feel
something.
like, dude, yeah, like
Yeah, yeah.
it will give me a solid boost. That plus like if I'm caffeinated as well, like all this stuff
Yep.
intersects to
Yep.
like the energy climax. And so
A hundred percent.
I try to have that crescendo right with the skill. So something like oh gosh, what's that song by Linkin Park with that crazy scream
They have a
from
lot of
what's
good
his name?
ones.
Yeah, I mean they've got a bunch. So like that's just one example. But I will also put on a funk track. Like
Oh
if
yeah, yeah, yep.
yeah, like it does like low key. The first episode I did was with Landon Calisthenics. I'm not sure if you're familiar
But
with
yeah,
him.
yeah, no, and then yeah.
Yeah, and he was saying that that funk is low key good, and I was like, yeah, it can hit in the right moments, but it's not something that I'm like listening to throughout my entire
Right.
workout. It'll be
Yeah.
kind of like a rip cord that I pull. Mostly, I'm listening to yeah, like heavier stuff. I like to listen to yeah, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, like stuff like that. Tell us about the content creation side of things. You don't seem to post that often. I noticed on Instagram, like you have 13,000. Some of your recent stuff is really like the tutorials we were talking about have really done well. But am I wrong to say you don't post that often?
I have like a long history with you know, the social media. So my original account was close to 500K. It was like 485K. And this was on TikTok. And then one day I signed in, it was just they just deleted it. And
So okay, so you were at 500,000 followers on TikTok because I saw your stuff from Instagram. You were
yeah.
at 13,000. I think I found your TikTok too, but I had no idea you were literally at 500K and then they just deleted your account.
Yeah, it was obviously a terrible feeling. I just filmed like a bunch of clips at the gym and then I went to my car, I was like editing them up to post it. And I open up TikTok and my account's just not there. And then I try signing in and they were like, yeah, your account has been permanently deleted. So I was like, okay.
Did you contact them?
Yeah, I was spamming them with emails probably for probably over 2 weeks. And I could not get to a single person one time. It was AI, automatic responses. At first they said safety and wellness was the reason. And then they switched it up. That's the thing that got me like the most upset is then they started giving me different reasons. So then I was kind of like, this must be all bogus if they can't even give me like one set. I didn't have any violations on the account or like anything. It was in good standing. And then just in one night, gone. I was pretty confident I was going to get it back. So I wasn't stressing too much. But yeah, then I just it's just like slowly dawned on me like, all right, I'm not getting this back.
What are you at on TikTok now? Have you just been re-uploading some of your stuff, or?
That's the thing. You can't even do that. I tried and they flag it because it's still in their system. Yeah. So all of like years and years of content that I made is like all worthless and gone. Yeah.
Oh my God. So you were making content in college.
Yeah.
And then you got to almost 500,000, but you were only on TikTok.
Yep. Yeah, that was my biggest mistake. I did not post on.
Dude, I knew I saw your face before. I was like, because I swear I was probably seeing your content then.
Yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
No,
so you to this day don't know what happened.
No, it's they claim safety and wellness, but I don't even know what that means. Like,
oh, well, maybe they're saying because you're teaching people to do backflips that this is somehow.
Well, that's the other thing.
Concern.
That was my content was a lot different than what I do now. That was the interesting thing. So on that account, I really started getting good traction on that in like 2021, 2022. So I did a lot of like sleeper build, like transition stuff. And so sometimes I guess I could see that could kind of flag it maybe because it's like, but it's just like, I don't know, like it was always just like.
No, but there's so much of that on TikTok.
Yeah,
that's
right?
ridiculous.
Like I would just like, yeah, my shirt would be off, but it's like, I don't think that's really something that's uncommon in the fitness space. So, yeah, I wasn't able to get it back, which, was definitely pretty upsetting. But the thing is, I completely different content. I did not talk in like a single video on my other account. It was all like transition stuff or like some, there would be like some calisthenics stuff, but I didn't really have a like personality. It was just like music, video, that would be it. And so once they deleted it, I was kind of like, all right, let me kind of switch up my content a little bit because I did kind of feel like I put myself in a box. It was definitely a mental thing, but so I had this one type of video that performed well, which is just like a transition thing, I guess. But then I kind of was just like, I felt like I needed to keep making those exact same videos. And I wasn't really super like focused on calisthenics or anything. So I didn't think that audience would really resonate with it. So I wasn't really pushing tutorials or anything either. So I did kind of feel like trapped a little bit, even though that was probably just me mentally kind of like convincing myself that was the situation. Like, but yeah, so once that got deleted, I was like, okay, let me do something completely different. And then so that's when I started like actually talking and speaking and talking about stuff I was like actually interested in. And yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing since.
Interesting. So it actually got deleted a year ago.
Yeah, September.
And okay, and so you're saying before that you basically had kind of a formula for content that did well but didn't really allow you to experiment, right? Because you kind of knew it worked and you kind of did that format. And then when it got deleted, you got a chance to actually start doing something a little bit different. And
right.
I mean, dude, the tutorials have crushed it.
Like, yeah, no, they've been doing pretty good. So
worked. Yeah, so maybe there was a silver lining in all of this, but there's no doubt that. I mean, that sucks, dude. 485K wiped to zero. But, there's some truth to the fact that, like, if you're a successful brand and people like you, even if you're starting from zero, you'll quickly gain again because you are really at the core of what's going on. And so that's the important part. But Man, that's crazy. So what about now? Like, where do you see your content going?
I mean, I guess kind of like what I've been doing as of recently is kind of just talking about stuff that I like learned, I guess, and like things that I enjoy or am interested in. I guess it's mainly in the tricking, like calisthenics area. I do, I kind of like being, I kind of like posting stuff, I guess, that like, I think my main thing is I don't want to put myself in a box again almost. So I know some people, there's always this back and forth of like niching down versus not niching down, like only talking about one specific topic, and that's your entire page. And then there's this other approach where your page is kind of like your whole life and like you as a person. And in addition to that is all the things you're also interested in. And so I guess just having like a balance of that is probably what I'm looking for. Um, I don't, I feel like I want to get to the point where I'm, comfortable kind of posting whatever. And like, right now that's probably mainly just going to be like tricks and stuff because, that's kind of what I enjoy right now. But yeah, so I would expect I'll probably be doing like more tutorials and, more fitness stuff, but also kind of like maybe more, I think I do that more on my TikTok. Like I'll post videos, like I talked about like my toe injury and a bunch of stuff where I'm not really going, to go crazy viral with those videos. But I think it's more so just to like, talk about your life and who you are. And like, I think that's important. And with my last account, I think that was a mistake I made is that like, I felt like I couldn't do that. And so I think that's probably what I want to avoid like with this going forward.
Yeah, 100%. It's interesting the kind of spectrum of success you can have with different approaches. Some
Right.
people are more kind of formulaic, same thing every time,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
don't really know who these people are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like they're posting the same thing over and over, and you're kind of like, and it works,
Yeah.
but yeah, some people don't share everything. And you do have to kind of draw that line somewhere. And I think different platforms, I do think TikTok tends to be a little bit better on just just being yourself as the brand and as the content and posting whatever and sharing little niche stories here and there. And this happened to me, like your toe injury, I think can be really successful. I found on Instagram, you got to kind of, that's where you kind of need to put the meat and potatoes.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm certainly no expert. If I just can't believe that like you log in one day and you're just shut down with no answer. I can only imagine like what you must have been feeling in
was
that moment,
like-
because that's really like your business, really. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
It was
crazy.
It was definitely upsetting. Another funny thing too, like this Instagram account, right, that I'm posting on, I started posting on this like last year. I did not get any views on anything, like 200 views. Like,
I noticed that.
yeah, absolutely nothing. And I wasn't posting every day or anything like that. I'd have times I'd probably post for like a week straight, maybe take a week off or like here and there. But I was posting videos that got like millions on other platforms. And then I posted here nothing. And I was like, all right, like,
That's crazy.
that's
dude.
fine. But then I posted one video and it did well. It got like, I think it's at over like 3 or 4 million right now. And then I just started posting the other content that I already posted, and then they did well again. Like then those got millions of views. So it was very interesting how Instagram's algorithm worked. It was like, I guess it didn't really know where to send the videos, but then once that one video is a calisthenics video, after that one did well, when I posted the other ones, I guess it already knew who would engage with that. And then that was really interesting for me because now, I was posting these videos because I already knew, there was people that would resonate with it and it's already done well on other platforms. But now I think about someone brand new to content creation at all. They could be posting really good videos for a year and they all do awful and they just think they don't know how to make content. They're not good. The videos aren't good enough. And so that could be really discouraging. And the only reason I kept going with it is because, I already had this experience. So that was very interesting to see firsthand, like, wow, like, because I see videos all the time. It's like, oh, like, if your videos aren't getting views, your content's not good. And while I do think there are cases where that's the truth, there's a lot of cases like this where it really is just like, it's really up in the air. I mean, social media is just, it's crazy how like, it's just not like stable. I don't know how to describe it. It's just really all over the place.
Do you have any strong thoughts about like nutrition? Like, is there something that you, because I don't know. I have like pretty much a like rigorous diet where I eat some of the same foods every day, and I kind of know where I'm at because I do focus on kind of some of the physique side of things as well, and that kind of is bundled up with some of the weightlifting stuff that I do. But what are your thoughts on like nutrition? Do you have any strong thoughts there? Any kind of favorite post-training snack or meal?
I mean, I'm definitely a big fan of Chipotle. That's probably, if I was gonna get food like and not like cook or make anything here, I'd definitely probably pick up Chipotle.
What's your Chipotle bowl? Or
Ooh,
or do you go burrito or what do you do?
I get both. I'd probably get both more often though. Yeah, I try to put like double everything. Um,
Yeah.
and then I honestly I don't get beans, but I'm low key thinking like I probably should. Do you normally get beans or no?
So I'll tell you my Chipotle bowl. This is the Austin bowl, okay?
The Austin
It's
Bowl.
yeah, and it's the shredded optimized bowl, okay? It's salad base, no rice, no beans.
Wow.
Double steak, pico de gallo, a little bit of medium, cheese for sure, and then lettuce back on top, side of guac. I like to kind
Ooh,
of
I love the
take a
guac.
bite of steak, kind of dip it
Dip it
in
in the
the
guac.
guac. Yeah, bro.
That's
It
what I
hits.
love. That sounds pretty good. No rice though, eh?
No rice. I mean,
Wow.
I'm out of kind of out on left field with that. So I wouldn't recommend that to people. I mean, carbs are good to give you energy. But people know I'm definitely erring more on the just like I like
So
to kind of
protein.
be hyper lean, and
Hmm.
so
Yeah.
I actually feel like my energy levels are good, and yeah, I just tend to eat a low amount of carbs, but I don't recommend that to
Right.
everyone,
Yeah.
right? But that's usually the bowl I get. You know, you get a little bit in the lettuce and whatever here and there, and guac is high in calorie, high in fat. Um, but yeah, Chipotle is good. Chipotle is good. But I mostly eat like uh just yeah, a lot of ground beef, steak. I had chicken last night. And yeah. What's one thing we don't know about you from your
Mm,
profile?
you don't know about me.
You got a
Um,
weird hobby?
Weird hobby outside of this.
You ever play video games growing up?
Yeah, I did. I would say probably my most. Have you ever played Super Smash Bros?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably like my most played game of like all time.
Really?
Like,
Okay.
yeah,
Do you play that now?
yeah.
Okay. What characters are you best with?
It's tough. I mean, I probably have like five I rotate in between with. My main for a while was Lucas, though.
Okay.
How about you?
Interesting. Oh, I never was good enough to like have like a main. I would just be one of the people in college that was given a controller and
Oh, and
and
then just figure it
involved.
out.
But they were the ones that were screaming, beating up on each other. That was never my game. I was always more kind of a computer gamer, first person shooter. Like I played a lot of Call of Duty, Apex Legends, stuff like
Oh,
that.
right. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool, man. What's your final message to someone that is looking to get started in either calisthenics or some of these kind of cool trick skills? Like what's your message? And then a lot of your stuff you're like, dude, just learn it. Just
Yeah,
learn it.
yeah,
Like
yeah. Right.
maybe that's the message. What's the message?
I mean, it's probably something very similar to that. Is like just I feel like, especially for people that have like a mental block, like I think you should just really give it a shot. There's a lot of things I wish I tried sooner, or like just like believed in myself a little bit more. And so I feel like if you're even like thinking about it a little bit, like anything, whether it's like, flipping stuff or if it's just like house stag stuff, like I think you should 100%, give yourself more credit, and you should definitely just literally just do it. Like, obviously you're not gonna, instantly be able to do it, but start like practicing or trying or, watching videos. I think a lot of my inspiration and stuff was just watching other people like do this stuff. And, um, in the beginning, it was probably more of like, I didn't think I would ever be able to do it. But then, eventually I think I kind of shifted my mindset and I was like, you know, if they can do it, why can't I do this? And then so, you know, I feel like if people are kind of in that like stage where they're watching it, they think it's cool. Like a lot of the comments, they think, you know, they think all this stuff is cool, but like, you know, they're saying they know they're never going to do it. Like you can't go in with that mindset. So I would say if you're at all interested in any of this stuff, like, you know, give it a shot. Like just start, you know, and then see where it goes.
Percent. Yeah. It's an interesting thing that people will comment something like that. And it's not just the fact that someone commented it, it's the fact that it got, you know, whatever it is, 20,000 likes, right? It's so relatable. It's to like, you see something like that and you're like, wow, there's so many people that want to learn this, right? Who doesn't want to be able to do a side flip? Let's be honest, right? If everyone could do it, they would snap their fingers and do it. Exactly. But it is just the amount of work that you have to put in. Or human flag is a good example as well. I think in many cases, it actually looks more impressive than it is. I like to do it kind of on stop signs and stuff around here, and I can get some good reactions out of people. But I remember one guy was like, "Wow, that's incredible." And I was like, "Man, you can do this, man. Like you could learn this, right?" And I was talking to I don't know if you know one of my buddies, Nolan, is the episode before you, and he is a human flag wizard. In fact, he's going for some world records in that, and he's on another level with human flag. And he was telling me that he's seen people in the gym. He teaches a lot, and he's seen people that have just literally done it on day one. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, and so I assume there's some cohort of people out there that could do that with side flip and things as well, that could literally learn this stuff in a day and just don't know it.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you that it's like, man, just take that first step, you know, start trying, you know, and when you see progress, latch onto that and let it propel you to keep going. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on. I appreciate hearing about these cool skills, man. We don't get to hear about these ones too often. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. But yeah, thanks for having me on.
Cool, man. Yeah, we'll have you back when you got the one-arm handstand. How about that?
Soon. It's coming. It's coming.
Okay, good.
I mean, we'll see. I'll try to I'll get as fast as I can.
Yeah, with all these things, we're trying as hard as we can. I feel like I'm behind on some of this stuff, but that's just the nature of the journey. Is you always look up to people that are ahead of you and you're impressed.
Yeah.
And you're man, I gotta get there. All right, cool, man. Well, have a good rest of your day, and thanks for coming on. And excited to see what you do next.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Awesome.
Take care.
See you.